in an offline environment in a row. It's quite the record, and Astralis extend it here on the Grand Final stage. Puts them 2-0 in a best-of-5 Grand Final. And to help me understand and analyze exactly how Astralis keep doing it and what went wrong for Team Liquid, we have Chad Sponge-Birchall and, of course, Tommy Lurpis-Koivunen on the end there as well. Gents, first question just immediately out of the gate is, this is, well, it's less of a question, more of a statement. This is Team Liquid's worst performance against Astralis on Nuke in the last 3 times they've played it against them. They seem to be taking a step backwards as opposed to forwards.
I think the pistol round set the scene, right? It kind of was the theme of the game. The fact that Taco had those 2 amazing kills to kick things off and they were unable to convert that one from there. For me, I was like, well, all right, well, this one is already done. There was that middle period. You can look to that. It was all Nitro. Nitro's effect with that AWP, that round with the knife kill and followed up through the smoke. That was, you know, there was some signs of life within them, but otherwise this was just all traffic for Astralis.
That pistol round was so frustrating to watch. Who was it? I think it was a Legion Nitro who pushed actually Magisk without reason, without justification.
It's almost like they weren't listening to us when we said that it was going to be the first 5 rounds that were going to decide what was going to happen. And we didn't do the accelerated challenge in practice. We played out the rest of the half, but that really was what would finish the game. By the time Astralis was up 5-1 on T side, it was going to be near impossible for Liquid to get the number of rounds they needed.
Pleasantly surprised by Nitro. You've already mentioned him. I mean, this was a very spicy round. This last shot is, yeah.
I think we'd call that a lucky shot.
Naughty.
But it's always good to see those kind of plays. I think the thing for me, if we want to make some notes here of the way that Astralis are applying themselves on the CT side, I noticed this across both maps. On Mirage, they had Dupree actually doing the lion's share of the AWPing, right? That's harder to read and it changed the rotations. That's something we didn't know previously. But then again, on the CT side, this time round on Nuke, they were being very aggressive all across the map. You saw Zipnix pushing ramp, Dupree trying to push into Squeaky multiple rounds in a row. They're being more aggressive towards Yard. They were doing things outside of their wheelhouse. And the reason that they can get away with that is you're trying to study the tendencies of your opponent. You look to the things that work for Astralis. Sure. Now, I've already highlighted they've had weaker CT sides. It appears to address that because they do have that very strong base and they do have the fundamentals and the chemistry and all the mid-round they can play off of each other. They can actually afford to take these risks. They really ruin any chance you have of having an execute and they can just fall back on their fundamentals. So this is another layer that Astralis are able to add to their game.
Right, and I mean, to build on top of that, you just got to catch a bit of it on the tail end of those highlights, Tommy. You had an interesting observation about the weapon device has been choosing to utilize over these first 2 maps.
Yeah, I mean, he basically not used the AUG at all prior to this grand final. He had 5 kills in the last three months with the AUG prior to Mirage, where he had like 15. And now, obviously, he's also been using it on Nuke, so... I don't know how. I wonder how he got the first one. Whether he bought it on accident or someone dropped it to him.
And picked it up.
And yeah, but then must have just had like 2 good rounds in a row and then figured, oh, might as well. It's been working out.
It is interesting.
Clearly kept to it.
But to have the audacity to play with a weapon you've never played with when you get to the grand finals, that's just a level of swagger I don't think I'm ever going to reach.
Yeah, if it's working, right? I think, like I said, they can afford to make these kind of changes, especially on sides that have been a little bit weaker, because now that they're unpredictable as well, any preparation that Liquid's done kind of goes out of the window. This is where it comes down to, okay, well, now do we just go back to playing our own game plan when we come to Inferno? Do we still see if we can exploit the tendencies they have? Because this one now is the choice of Liquid again, which means Astralis, they get to start on that CT side, and going from that point, you know, this is where if they build that economy, both these teams, they're 1 and 2 so far in the tournament for ADR with utility. So we could do that one until the cows come home, but we know that utility usage is going to be on point. What can Liquid possibly do to break that?
Well, you saw it. You actually saw Liquid's T side on Inferno versus Astralis, and you called it, you know, orchestral, ballet.
It was
there was a lot of beautiful. Was it, to long story short, of Liquid's approach on T side Inferno versus Astralis. It was prep heavy. It was exclusively designed for Astralis' CT side. What's to stop them doing that again?
Well, now they're playing outside of that box, right? Astralis have learned, hey, now we can just do things that are a little bit different. You can even just change players of positions of maps. These guys are all so seasoned at playing this game that you could just swap one player to a different bomb site. Well, on their CT sides, they do play a lot of, like, not gamble stacks, but when they're setting up their banana control, that's usually a spawn-based thing, right? So most of the time, they're doing it with different players. So everybody needs to know the protocol. At this point, you can just change things up a little bit, do different random parts of aggression, and you're going to make Liquid's life very difficult.
So that was at the major, for those of you that are not quite sure what we're talking about. Definitely worth checking out if you want to see that.
Game still went overtime though, Alex.
That's right, yes.
That's the problem.
It went overtime because of Astralis and Astralis comebacks. And of course, Liquid taking their foot off the gas after what was a historical 12-3 half.
12-3, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Astralis, of course, just put up a wall, and we know how good they are at forging a comeback. Talking of comebacks, it needs to be said before we get into this, Tommy, that it's something you quoted actually, Chad, before, that it's never been done before. A reverse sweep in a best-of-5 final just hasn't happened. What are Liquid's chances of at least taking us to a fourth?
I mean, they have a chance to get it to the fourth map, I think. Inferno, arguably the second best map in the pool for them out of these. The problem is you're just not, very confident after those two performances in a row. Things just haven't just looked very good for Liquid ever since that lead they had on Mirage that they kind of gave up on. They never really got into it on Nuke. They only managed a couple of CT rounds on a side where you should pretty easily get to at least 8-9 rounds.
But let's not forget, like, if you had context to those results, it was a full 16-14 on Mirage. They made them work. Nuke is, we already said, is a given.
Okay.
It's the way the map went, Alex. It's the way the map played out.
It's not even that, though. I know we're reaching here to try and give some hope to everybody at home.
That's what I'm trying.
Have a chance. The fact of the matter is, after they let Mirage slip, so first of all, when I saw this veto, Inferno and Dust 2 were 50-50 maps in my mind. Didn't matter who picked them, either of them could win those maps. I expected to be going into this point of the best of 5 with a 1-1 split. Now that we don't have that, now that they lost in such crushing fashion in the first map, then they've just been absolutely drubbed down to the server on the second map. Going into the third one, it's the mental side of things, all right? You've never beaten Astralis in a grand final. You don't lift trophies. You're on a grand final stage. You're struggling on a map that you've obviously done a lot of prep on. Now you go into Inferno, where you just got smashed out of the water by FaZe yesterday. It's the mind games, it's the mental side of things, and that is the biggest weakness for Liquid, because in terms of individuals, in terms of strat, in terms of prep, they have it all. Just here, for whatever reason, they can't get it to click, they can't close.
Oh, wow, you have painted a very good painting of exactly what's going on in the minds of Team Liquid Camp, or what's likely occurring. Of course, we're not mind readers, but Naf, just taking a moment of meditation. Relaxation.
I mean, what Liquid really need now is a similar turnaround as in the FaZe series, right? Yeah. That was the same thing that happened there. They lost the map that they should have won. Then they somehow just came out guns blazing in maps 2 and 3. Yeah. Now, I mean, they're in a much tougher spot now. It's 0-2, not 0-1. It's a best of 5. They need to win more maps. It's Astralis. It's not FaZe. But, at least there's some kind of a precedent if you really wanted to go there. Like there's still a chance. It's just not a very good one.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you can't help but think that when the cameras cut between the two teams, you see a juxtaposition. There's smiles, giggles, everyone's already popping heads, and Naf's having a nap. I think it's just, it's testament to how stacked against them it must feel for Liquid right now.
Yeah, look, when you come into this situation, you're already the underdog. When you get down 2-0 in this kind of situation, it's almost insurmountable. If they're to do this, this is more than a historic comeback. This is more than a historic victory. There's so many records that could possibly be broken in this situation. It's just difficult to see. And not only that, they lost the T-side pistol on Nuke when I was presenting that as one of their kind of win conditions, something they've been doing very well throughout the tournament, is winning T-side pistols, and that kind of was broken in the last map as well.
If they do this.
And they had to start on Nuke T-side pistol round as well, but time to get into it. Let's see what Liquid have.
If they do this, history will be written. Never before a reverse sweep in a best of 5, and it starts on Inferno. Astralis looking to lift the trophy, one map away from it. Liquid stand in their way. It's Anders and Moses to shout you through.
Yes, Alex, thank you. Third map going to be coming up now. Liquid, one last chance to make this one work. We're going to be on Inferno here. The grand finals at the Intel Extreme Masters in Chicago. It's Astralis starting on the CT side, Liquid on the T side. They need a strong start. They need everything working for them. And Naf, he was a god on Mirage. They need to have him continue on this one, and a pistol round would be a big win for them right here. He's picked up 1 kill, 4 on 5 now, and only 1 defender on this site.
No, but they've slowed it down. Actually, Dupree's going to be here. He wants to come through, but he's so blind, and even Device is going to be nearby. Firing shots into the smoke. Nothing's going to land there. Zipnix with 1. That is through the smoke. Actually, it says as it clears. And Dupre's still fighting into a 3-on-3. And again, Team Liquid, they find something good, but it's immediately taken from them. And Unleash needs to win this fight. He needs to win it out, but he can't.
What a bold play from Magus, not reloading, saving 2 bullets and getting the headshot. Nice think on Dupree, they're gonna hunt him down. Nicely done, taking him out of the game means a lot. Now 2 on 2, a bomb on the other side. They don't have a kit right now, instead they're gonna be tapping it, just defusing for a very, very long time. Twist clearing out Device, and inside of the smoke, there's still 4 seconds left. He's off it now. Oh no! They knife each other inside. I think there's too much time has passed already, but he's quite literally been sacrificed to the cause, Moses. Liquid win the pistol.
Listen, they're not all going to be pretty, are they?
No.
Your Team Liquid, it all counts. Even if you knife a teammate, you still get the win. High octane from start to finish, 1-0. It's so crazy Astralis is able to stay into these, and yeah, you just can't see anything inside that smoke, and that had to be a heart-stopping moment. And then you see the relief break through on Alicia's face. Pissed around goes their way, but again, you can't rest. We know Astralis, we're gonna repeat it again. I know it's sick of hearing about it. Their utility usage with this new money system as well in these second rounds have become even more dangerous. They were great at these even before the money system bolstered their efforts, bolstered and gave them more nades to work with.
And we've seen so many times in the past, if you make a mistake, give them an opening, could very well be what ends up costing you the map. We've done a little bit to Elige, but I think that's just fine for now. Liquid have that top banana control. When the smoke goes up, they're just gonna say, that's fine. Gonna move on the other side. They actually have Twist clearing out the T hallways over here, just making sure that no shenanigans are happening.
And the scary part about that is look how much time it's eating off the clock. Liquid, yeah, they got a smoke out early on the B bomb site, but they haven't applied any pressure towards A. You're gonna see Device now cheating over on the minimap towards the B bomb site to replace one of those players, so he'll have a smoke. They want to funnel Team Liquid towards the A bomb site. It all comes down, Magisk. He has a CZ. When does that smoke come out? It's gonna get there in time. That's perfect. That's exactly what he wants. Is he gonna be able to actually stop anything through it? He can't get that kill. Twist is out, he's low HP. It might not matter. Good trade on the balcony. It's just a pre inside the bomb site. Glaive and Device have rotated over. They need to hit this site. They need to clear out this corner, and they're getting it done. Finally, it breaks in their favor.
Close call with Magisk and that CSET 75. If he gets the first kill, the rest are gonna try and come through, and he'll be ready for it too. So really important that they managed to get down. I think that was Twist making that first jump.
Yes, he got down so low, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, it was enough, right? Even just living through that initial jump was making a difference. And Glaive and Sip looking for maybe exits or maybe just to say what they have. Second round for Team Liquid. All the pieces matter at this stage. They're gonna save an MP5 and a Galil, but then again, Astralis did buy a lot in that round.
They fully invested. They bought out entirely. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna delay really that buy round until we'll come in on the 4th, but 2 still weapons to play with, and I mean, they could do it again if they wanted. Not necessarily fully invest or buy up, but you can pick up some smokes and see if you can get lucky. Those CZs, just a little bit of damage, maybe even HEs to soften some players up. But Team Liquid should have an easier time of things. They know they've kind of broken through that first obstacle, that first hurdle. Now a few unarmored opponents. See the MAC-10, the MP5 is out. Those SMGs will chew up unarmored opponents. Glaive's got 2 flashbangs, and he's got those over towards the B bomb site where there's 3 players stacked up. So look for a timing on when they pop flash and maybe try and turn that corner and retake top banana.
It's worth the attempt. Doubt it's going to do that much with the limited weapons, but yeah, they already put out the Molotov, and they were hoping to catch someone on their side of the Molotov so that they wouldn't be able to fall back, I think, with a flashbang. Nobody from Liquid is going to get caught instead. A pretty good return so far. A little bit of damage there. Sip taking down Naf, but they're also lift on 4 and 13 health up there. And on the other side, Dupree and Magisk, they don't have anything to defend with.
Look at Astralis reading the play. They know they forced him back from banana. They know more than likely it's going to be a fast A hit. Zipnix and Glaive are already here. If this gets slowed down at all, and what a position from Dupree. Magisk's going to do it, and there's a low HP Elige player. He somehow spins and gets that. Oh no, Liquid gets so lucky.
My God, I mean, if he picks up one more kill with the P250,
it might be all over.
Yeah, that could have slowed it all down. Excitement all across the board here as Liquid do pick up 3 in a row to begin Inferno with. And now comes the really, really big test. M4's that AWP, little bit limited on the utility on Astralis, but not really much.
Yeah, not much that you're going to be happy about if you're Liquid. They have done a great job against Astralis on this map in the past. Best of 1 at the major in the group stages. I think it was a 13-2 lead from Liquid on their offensive side. Now Astralis did come back in that. Oh, that is a huge amount of damage to come out onto Liquid. Twist and Taco down so low. That's an ult mid. A couple of nades coming out from the defense.
I would love to see a replay of how those grenades landed. Because obviously, that is really frustrating. Shoulder peek, Glaive not afraid to go and throw that grenade out. Tags up Nitro and sprays just as the smoke is going up on the other side. Gonna be picking up the bomb back at T-spawn almost now. And a minute on the clock.
You've got about 160 damage from utility out of Astralis in this round. All that missing HP from Team Liquid is all the nades, and I mean, because of that kind of softened up players, you don't really want to spread out if you're Team Liquid. You want to play the trade game, and Glaive's going to go for some aggression. He could actually get caught. This is going to be a weird timing, but he sees it coming. Molotov is out. They need to put that out. Smoke, Nitro's just going to back away from it, but they've used their utility. They're going to have to go forward after this. All 5 players, no map control anywhere else. The B bomb site has to be where Team Liquid wins this.
Glaive, one good defending shot early on. The Molotov does get cancelled out. I think it was meant to actually land on that little plateau. I think it can go up on that corner. That's the bomb, but 25 seconds now. Down on the ground, more shots. Oh no, another team kill here. Elise taking down Taco, and they're going to be planting the bomb, sure, but already flashing their way through. And I think the Prius might have been team flash there. A very, very chaotic round, leaving Elise in a 1 versus 3. He turns around for the initial grenade, but they've seen him. They know where he is. And Astralis will win their first rifle round.
There it is, that low HP from the nades early on allows Xyp9x to get 1 through the smoke. Just connecting with that first bullet, and then obviously the TK follow-up is just crippling, and that's kind of what made Astralis pick up the pace of the retake. If 3 players survived, they would have been way more patient, but with only 2 players and 1 planting the bomb, they saw their moment of opportunity, and even with a mistimed flashbang, able to clean it up with relative ease.
This is where they go. They're just stacked right on top of each other.
Oh, is it an op shot?
That's...
All right. So take back everything we said about utility.
Yeah, scratch that from the record, but still, that's almost even more frustrating because he's in a very exposed position there with the AWP and takes 2 as they're standing on top of each other. Device at it again, exact same angle. I'm gonna try and see if they can run him down behind the flashbang. Oh, they're gonna catch him. Could have been a reply there, and it will come a second later from Magus. He's going to cancel out the smoke. They want to go fast on this one, Liquid. Lose Twist. I don't think he realized he was visible down from the pit. Magus playing on top of the bicycle. He did take that grenade right to the helmet. Now Taco, he's down to 3. And backup is, well, quite far away. Trying to run onto the side, but he needed the headshot. Great defense here out of Astralis so far.
Seems like Liquid has really wanted to hit some aggressive timings and make Astralis feel it. And at least for the moment, Astralis has sustained, and that'll make Liquid, I would imagine, second guess though, to play this T-side. Great peek from Aegis right as the Molotov comes out before the weapon can make an appearance. 2 to 3. And I don't think there's been enough damage to the economy for Liquid to force up into this round.
No, you really wouldn't. They could get 2 AKs and not really much more outside of that. Astralis establishing a little bit of control early on now that they're on the CT side, and they've got the rifles here, double or even the SG that they've stolen.
You have to imagine that was one of the goals for the game plan that Team Liquid had to open up this half, was make sure that economy is going to be low at all times, just prevent any kind of nades, any kind of Molotovs, any kind of smokes from being bought up by Astralis, make things easier on yourself, and obviously didn't accomplish it exactly the way they would have liked. We've seen teams in the past able to exploit and have a much easier time on Inferno against this defense when the HEs and the Molotovs aren't out every single round.
Xyp and Glaive coming back for a bit. That was Device on the other side, and they're going to clean up, well, all of that banana push. Glaive with the AWP for a double. Hardly any damage. 1 point of health missing on Device there. This Twist is going to be running with the Tech-9 around the corner to free. There to catch him. A flawless round for Astralis. And this is a really big problem. Starting to build the economy on the CT side. Yeah, it's looking so much better already. So even if Liquid win this next round, they're not going to be forcing any kind of an eco.
No, but you have to take the double op away. Even if you win the round, even though there's going to be another buy, if they're going to go back into the double op, it's going to be so expensive, and that might be almost a benefit for Team Liquid if they can find some success. The fact that Astralis has invested into this. Here we go. Nitro and Elige for Banana Cold in control, but there's 3 members of Astralis here, and this is just a grind. Look at all the fire on the ground. Nitro gonna put 1 out. There's still 2 at the top, holding Xyp9x and Glaive back, but not for long. Here comes the peak. Nitro down so low. A double nade to that position, 9 HP, and just spamming through. Blind as well, but low HP. You can do nothing about it. And Astralis is just keeping control of Banana.
They really are. Naf and Taco, or even a Molotov into that corner, and Lily's gonna get a little bit of revenge there, taking down Xyp. Some kind of justice being output now from Team Liquid. 4 on 4. They still have the bomb, and they're still continuing the jump. That's so risky. Lily's gonna live to tell about it, but you could die really quickly doing that.
Well, at least they've forced back the defense. And with 2 ops, I think they're going to keep 1 at each bomb site. Glaive and Dupree to defend B. Magisk and Device to defend A. So no matter where Team Liquid goes, it's a 4-on-2. The question is, Device, he's in a pretty committed position. Even if he gets 1, will he be able to fall back? This is a little bit safer. But he wants the intel. He wants the information. Now forced off the angle. Glaive is going to start running over. But again, that's the op to follow up on the support. It's not always going to be easy if there's smoke in his face for that AWP to get involved. The question is, how do Liquid actually crack into the bomb site?
Glaive, blind timing, not connecting. They're wrapping around with 19 seconds. It's time now for them to make this work. Twist with a big double in the leash to follow up, and they breached the bomb site, and they even made it look easy. If they drop the bomb with 19 seconds left, that's a huge problem for them. That's well done.
That's the punish of the op on Glaive being the rotator. If that's an M4, he can maybe come through the smoke. He can maybe do something to kind of delay that, allow Astralis to get into better positions, allow Mages to get a new angle. Just happened way too fast for them to handle, and Device looking in the other direction. At Crossfire with 2 players inside the bomb site collapses. Taco, oh, what a headshot. Nice, as Dupree wants to take the weapons away. The 4th round.
As you were pointing out, that's losing the double AWP setup now for Astralis. See if they are tempted to buy back into it or not.
I don't think they will. I think they'll get 1 on Device, but I think they're going to keep that second op in the back pocket for something at a later day. You can see Device is meant to cover lane. Magisk is meant to cover that wrap, but it's just, you know, he's off that box in the corner because that's such a pre-fire position now when you turn that corner. Uh-oh. A little bit of a team knife. There's been a lot of team damage coming out from Team Liquid in this game. 2 team kills and now a stab in the back of an Elite. An all-important round, and he's going to be down to 26. He would probably love that extra 30 HP. Good return nade onto Xyp9x, though.
Yeah, he ended up standing in a sea of fire out here on Banana. It's finally gone away, and Astralis have fallen back. But it's interesting to see that sometimes Astralis, they sort of retake top Banana control after a couple of seconds have passed. They just sort of go back for it and see if they can make that work. Also an aggressive setup over in the hallways on the other side for the defensive side here. It's 1 person started that, Moses, just 1 person.
Yeah, certainly did, and that stack, that aggressiveness works perfectly. No flashbangs, no nades in their face, and Device is going to build upon it with a 3rd kill at top mid. This means the round is essentially over. Elige, he's way too blind to do anything to find an equalizing or an opening kill at the B bomb site, and now all they have left to do is go for it. This boost is going to be the saving grace no matter what happens, and Elige isn't even checking for it. They don't have the manpower to clear it in 30 seconds. Naf can get nothing done, and on the verge of being reset, Astralis keep all 5 players alive.
Yeah, that's 2 rounds now where they managed to do that, so even if they've only won 4 so far, that still means their economy is going to be looking better than it otherwise would have by quite a bit, and even worse for Liquid. It resets their economy. This hallway setup is great. Device just back in the middle for a little bit more.
Yeah, such a good player, such a good AWPer with his positioning. Here we go. Full investment from Team Liquid as they know they're facing down the barrel of a double save themselves. 1 AK-47 is the most powerful weapon they have to talk about. That's going to be on Taco. And they're not fighting for banana control this round, and that's going to be just a little bit more information passed over to Astralis.
Leaving Magus down in pit, they've got no problem having cover that side. Well, that was the AK player taking a grenade. And another one. Down to 6. What do you do about that?
Yeah, you've got to be so frustrated at this point. Maybe try and pass off the AK-47, but I think they might be too committed. I think dupreeh would see it if he tossed it back. Ooh, that's a great angle. Taco not expecting that.
I think they were talking about it. Well, some smokes being set up, but already missing a player. Trying to make their way through. Oh, good flashbang, but Magus is going to navigate his way down into the pit, even while he's flashed. And now the setup is just too good here for Astralis. It at least seems like it. Nitro doing a little bit more damage. 1 versus 2. If he can get this last kill, but he cannot. Device. 3 kills in the round for him. And now Astralis back in the lead here on Inferno. 5-4. But it's the money for Team Liquid.
That was the last one they had. They would have at least loved to plant. So now they just have to sit around out fully. 2 in a row now for Astralis. 5 of the last 6. Yeah, that's just a lot of confusion, a lot of nades and smokes in that scenario for Nitro to really know where Device had repositioned to.
You get the feeling watching this game so far that Astralis are just they've been allowed a lot of comfort in some of these maps. Oh, I say that as Device getting caught completely. Now dupreeh wants to bring it back, and he's going to be so ready. He saw, especially that last fight, he read that in his mind a couple of seconds before it happened.
That round is a perfect double-edged sword of how that style kind of plays out frequently is, yeah, you can get some of the crazy dinks and kills and you can hit those timings that no one's expecting, but there's no way when you're that aggressive and that fast-paced to be coordinated as a team. And dupreeh is allowed to come in with 4 kills. He's gotten essentially 4 one-on-ones of just mopping up these Liquid players. So a short glimmer of hope taken away from Liquid so quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair, does it? Looked like there was a way to get back in that round. And now Sip waiting on the angle. He's got all the health in the world and fighting against the Glock. And the grenades to follow it up. That's not even making it much of a fight there. 6-4 in favor of Astralis here. A 2-round lead has opened up for the Danish side. Now Team Liquid. I feel like some of the confidence they had, we saw it especially on Mirage, how they were sort of taking some fights against Astralis, not being wowed at all by the fact that they were playing a strong team.
Right.
I want that back right now. I feel like you can tell, I mean, it's obviously been a grind for them playing the 3rd map right here, but...
I mean, the hard part about that is Astralis has all the nades they need, and that's what that utility does, is it forces that kind of a play aside. It's not easy to do that when the full economy is in the favor of the defense. Still got 1 fan in the room, in the house. Got a few more. Twist and Taco to take over halls. They've seen this setup before, and they were destroyed by it. It might just happen again. Deja vu all over. Again and again, that setup. You can't put a dent into it.
Yeah, somebody needed to watch Exist. That wallbang that he put through, that's the cure for that kind of problem.
Or, yeah, have someone spamming as you make that peek, drop a flashbang, something, but the dry peek into those halls is just getting decimated. And now, again, another just terrifying situation. Elish finds one. That's a clever boost. Can you build upon it, though? Counter flashes. That's a great shot for Glaive, an immediate trade, but there's no smoke. There wasn't time for it, and Magisk is going to exploit that. Actually, I think the smoke might have hit one of those players, or maybe that was a Astralis one that was coming in too late, but no way for Liquid to cross.
7-4. That scoreline is kind of one thing, but it's kind of, this is going to be the 4th round in a row here for Astralis. They're looking way too good right now, and every other round, Liquid are back on pistols, trying to make it work. Going to be running up Banana. Grenades are going to be coming in from the other side. Sip setting himself up close with the AK-47, and he's going to spray down 1, and Magus is there. They're all getting chewed up, just the superior firepower on the other side. A little bit of damage in return, but Nitro, well, gonna find one of them. They did a lot of damage to Glaive and Magus at the end. Not sure it's enough.
No, you obviously can't know that either if you're Nitro, so you don't even realize the way forward is kind of your only way to have success. You're already flanked from behind, you're already trapped in. trying to get something, trying to force someone out of the Logs position. You've spotted two, and now, yeah, I think Nitro realizes the only way is forward, but he's not fast enough.
Oh, man. That's very harsh, Moses. I'm not gonna lie.
I liked it. It was fun.
Called for at this point in time, you think?
I think so. I think it's fair. Timeout from Team Liquid, and that's called for as well. Guess this is what happens when the home team gets battered in this fashion.
This guy certainly won.
That is a great sign.
Yeah. Man, what a rough situation to find yourself in. On the edge of being pushed out of the grand final here. 8-4. You know, everyone's all aboard with the chickens, Moses, but those fish, they get no love at all. They're swimming along the B-bomb site, no fans, no support.
Yeah, no cares for the fish. They get blown up quite frequently.
Yeah.
Seems a bit of oversight. You gotta feel like this is really one of the, maybe the last chance that Liquid has in this half. They're not actually, I mean, this can very easily turn into a good half for Team Liquid. They have 4 rounds, they just need 1 or 2 more. There's a nice opening pick, that's Device, who gets dropped by Naf. And what does Liquid decide to do from here? Glaive is pushed to the base of Banana. He's gonna have a very fast flank, and he can actually even find some timing through the smoke if he wants to. Communication being called out. Liquid gonna very quickly take control of brackets. There's Magisk, and he's actually almost overexposed. Dupree now in the bomb site to help him out.
Sip is over at B too. There's only really 2 people defending this A bomb site, and they're both kind of weirdly stuck on top of each other. They're gonna go aggressive. Instead of defending, they're gonna go to this corner and try and see if they can set up something. This is such a weird setup for Astralis. Is it gonna work out? Timing is good. They get 1, they continue the spray. So much damage. Dupree with 2 and almost a 3rd. And Clay waiting in the middle. Heartless here for Astralis. Liquid had such a great setup. It is not done yet, but they brought it back to a 2-on-2. And Magisk, he's going to get caught in pit, and he still wins the fight. That needed to be a kill for Taco, and now Magisk closing the door right in their faces. 9-4.
I mean, that's a beautiful crunch from 2 different sides of the map. That's how coordinated Astralis is, both coming up lane and then also Glaive finally making his play at base of Banana. Even still, Taco with that kill on a Magisk would have opened up the A bomb site and likely won the round for Team Liquid. It doesn't pan out. This is beautiful. Nitro is considering it, but he just started to move after holding that angle, and no one covering for that kind of a play. Liquid, every piece of success they find is met with more from Astralis.
Oh, now they're going to be pushing down, aren't they? Or at least they thought about it. I think they give it up, but they're just trying to find ways all the time to be a little bit more obnoxious than the previous round. See if they can...
They're successful.
It keeps Liquid guessing, right? I really feel like they have a very hard time getting a grasp of the rhythm of this game right now.
It certainly doesn't help that every time they find some kind of victory over at the A bomb site, Magisk is 16-4. He's there to respond, and now just lining up nades coming in through the smoke. This is not going to pan out well. Device still waiting under the patio, spamming through. He finds one somehow completely blind. It's Glaive's turn. He's going to push up next. Not even traded. 1-on-3 for Naf, and they have gotten nowhere near a bomb site. I think this is Liquid finally, maybe not quite on Nuke, maybe it took them a while to realize it on Mirage. But I think now they know that they're beaten.
40 seconds for Naf. Using his time, hoping for somebody to go and peek him. I mean, the difference for him, if he can turn it into a 1-on-2, is massive at this point in time. So I don't blame him for trying to play that kind of a game. 30 seconds. And he's going to be running all the way up Banana, and Sip is in position once again, hearing him, and he's going to be catching him perfectly at the corner. A 10th round now picked up for Astralis, and they're about 6 away from winning the grand final here at IEM in Chicago. You're absolutely right about Magisk. 16-4. That's a hard pit player to get rid of.
It really is, in such a critical position as well, and he plays it so good. I'm not even sure what the answer would be for Liquid. Here we go. Banana control attempted again, but not too aggressively from Liquid. Ali's just going to throw the standard Molotov, and he wants to just avoid all the nade damage. He's probably spent a couple rounds playing with half HP. Spam coming in from Glaive, that gives him the idea. Nade now out to the choke point. They're gonna try and find the timing. I mean, they kind of get it, but Nitro was slowed down, so no one to trade that kill. Another early advantage, another early big advantage for Astralis.
You see Glaive, instead of full-on spraying because he's low on bullets, he sort of taps away and conserves the ammo enough that he can pick up the kill anyway. Now they're gonna swap out the two rifle players and put Device here instead. Molotov doesn't really do that much to Device. He can see pretty much clean through that. Gonna be recommitting to it. Flashbang to take the angle. He's waiting, they line up, and that could have easily been a double. 3 versus 5 here in the 15th round. Team Liquid are really getting destroyed here in the first half. Glaive waiting behind the sandbags, and they don't even check it. He's gonna get one, a quick follow-up, and he continues. Almost a triple spray, and now it's Naf again, alone in a clutch. They know he's out there. This is a really dominant first half for Astralis.
This is just Astralis now just playing with them, knowing they have them beaten, knowing they have them on the string, and they can just do whatever, they can make Liquid do whatever they want. Jumping over the top, desperation, 4-11, and it doesn't even necessarily seem that close. 3 wins off the back of the pistol, the second and third round, and from there was just 1 gun round for Team Liquid. With their backs against the wall here in Chicago in the grand final, that's not how you want to start things out. Astralis looking to lift that trophy, but that'll happen after the break.
Inferno, the last stronghold here for Team Liquid in the grand finals, and Moses, the Vikings are at the gate. It does not seem like there's much hope left right now for the American side. 11-4 in the first half, 5 more rounds for Astralis, and they're gonna win IEM Chicago right here on Inferno. Liquid, it's time to give it all right here.
Yeah, the stronghold is crumbling. It's about to collapse, and Team Liquid just one last chance. They need this pistol round as well. Goes without saying. They need to get started off well. Twist gonna jump across mid. See what he can find. He's gonna jump across the window. Spots Dupree, gets in a little bit of a battle, but here we go. Glaven may just get the base of Banana. 3 players here for Team Liquid. Nitro with those 2 flashbangs. Elysia's just gonna go for a heads-up duel. He likes this fight at that range, but all the meanwhile, Magis are getting close, and this is dangerous. They get lured into it, but they still win the fight. That's huge, and now they can back away with the advantage. That's all they wanted.
Taking out Magisk must feel great at this point. He was very hot in the first half, so get rid of him early on and at a limited cost too. They are out of smokes on the Liquid side, but they still have that kit on Nitro. He's at the B-bomb site. He's gonna get smoked off from the coffins, and they're gonna make their wrap around the corner now. At about a minute, Taco doing more damage, and they're gonna try and see if they can grenade him out into the corner, but he's still safe here. Now they're trying to make their play. He's out in the open, and once again, Taco is staying alive forever and ever. Finally, he goes down, and the rest of Liquid, they're actually quite far away. 2 of them in the A-bomb side as Taco dies. That could be a real problem here. The bomb, it's being delayed. What a weird round.
Well, no, Taco actually did a great job. The fact that he stayed alive so long, because the bomb couldn't go down, the smokes finally clear up, and you can get the rest of Team Liquid involved in the action. And unfortunately, I don't think Liquid realizes this just yet, with the bomb being stuck behind that box. Astralis can't go to the other bomb site. They're gonna have to fight the whole way. These USPs, they can shine. Nitro, he needs to live here. Device with a P250 though. Good trades across the map, and another one from Device, the drive-by. Who else to get Astralis into this round? 10 seconds left on the clock. They want to stop this plant.
Nitro might be the only one who could do it now. It's Twist, 8 seconds left, and he's gonna be dropped. Device, 3 kills in the pistol round. Almost the last nail in the coffin here, 12-4.
Device comes in hitting like a truck. That P250 at range alleviated all the pressure. Liquid couldn't have had a better setup with the bomb site being lost. A tough situation to recover in, but Device certainly just pushes Astralis over the edge. That might have been it. 12-4 Team Liquid. I don't know if you can buy here. I think you have to at least, you know, have a round where you can get guns on the board where you still have a chance, but they're gonna do it. They want to deny Astralis this early advantage.
I forget the fact that Sip is only 23. I feel like he's playing like someone who should be, you know, 28 instead or something.
All these guys, all these Danish guys are so young, which is frankly quite scary. It's going to be a long time before they start dropping off.
12-4 as the timeout comes to an end. Some Deagles, CCs, that 157 they're being picked up as well on Liquid. Need to keep fighting and hope for some early revenge. It's a decent grenade. Landing at the feet of Magisk.
Here we go, top mid stack for this defense. This needs to work out. The boost getting there just in time. Zipnik's turned the corner, but they knew the boost was coming. I think Zipnik spotted it out and they checked for it immediately, and oh, that was anticlimactic.
When you've got that kind of crossfire and the first person who walks into it is actually jumping through it, if you don't hit a straight headshot before it even touches the ground, there's always going to be 2 or 3 more people right behind to follow it up. So it's really, really effective. Naf now in a 1 versus 4 and just trying to see what you can do to save it. Oh, 1 versus 5, in fact. You're right. Sips lived through that first entry.
They got ran over. And that's the tough part about buying in this round, is now you have to sit one out. Astralis can have a good chance to get up to 14, and then all of a sudden you really don't get any mistakes to make. Then it does have to be a huge round, or a huge run, excuse me. And even in this round, ruthlessness coming out from Astralis. They want to hunt down this Deagle. Matt maybe going to show us some nice things. Good headshot on Device, but so many more people coming, and he can't even handle Magisk. Back and forth spamming with the UMP. Astralis looking to make quick work of this third map.
They really are. Couldn't even let him keep the Deagle, Moses. Seems petty, doesn't it?
Selfish, I think. Really.
Well, 13-4 is now the scoreline. There seems to be nothing right now that can slow down Astralis. Not on this map. The desk, I mean, I think they said it, you know, right out of the gate. They said that Mirage map has to be Liquid's for this to be realistic. And that has looked like a very, very good prediction at the moment.
I think Liquid at the moment might be wishing that Fnatic had ended up winning that semi-final.
They're not alone in that, Moses. I've heard a lot of people had their hopes on that. There's a bit of a cleanup. Attempt to be aggressive here for Liquid. I don't really mind it. I think it's fair enough to try and do something, but slowly getting whittled away, leaving Twist with the USP.
for one more. Nice little flick over from Dupree. Annoyed by that. 14-4, M4s coming out for Liquid. And here we go. If they don't win this, they're gonna be done. This is their last chance to get some kind of a comeback, some kind of a run under their belt to make this doable.
Crowd trying to get him back into the game. It's going to be very, very tricky. I think Liquid are going to have to contribute something themselves as well. Magisk set up for that one. Oh, that's a nice grenade. And they don't get anything in return. 14-4. This is the last stand, Moses. There's not going to be much left. If they lose this one, I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see a comeback like that in the grand finals.
No, that would be... Yeah, that would be too much. If Liquid can do this. Elige close up at the B bomb site. 3 players starting to encroach, and even Nitro a little bit nervous. Has cheated halfway through CT spawn. You can see him on the X-ray there. A little bit of attention towards A as Zipnix puts out a smoke. Just trying to keep Liquid guessing and not able to cheat any massive rotation over to the other side of the map. Smoke for the B execute, but meanwhile at the same exact time, Twist is dealing with so much utility, and that's going to open up a gap in this defense. Dupree is going to be able to close up towards Rap side. He can cut off rotations. He can turn this into a mid to B or a split, a wrap around that B bomb site from CT spawn. And actually now Team Liquid, they're getting pulled away. They have no idea what's going on.
Oh dear God, this is not what they need right now. 35 seconds. Elige, the only defender. Yeah, Naf is Nitro now. They've kind of realized something else up. They're starting to get brought back. 30 seconds on the clock, and Astralis instead, they're running back. How can they know this? Taco and Twist defending inside of the A bomb side, and the whole Astralis team are going to show up right at the doorstep. Twist down in the pit. He's got to get more in that. He can't do it. The wrap around Dupree deep in the bomb side all along, or at least towards the arch side, and it's going to be a bomb plan, and they just have to call it the save. 15 rounds for Astralis. What a call with 30 seconds left.
Liquid just never had any clue what was happening, and Dupree just being put in that position, he's in such a perfect spot. That crossfire between Twist and Taco still could have saved the day, but the backstab from Dupree, because anyone watching that position is shuffling between the 2 bomb sites with no clue where they're supposed to be positioned. That's the nightmare for Team Liquid, and makes it look so silly because you're just wishing Team Liquid could fight for some of these rounds down the stretch, try and make something come, and there's just no chance.
A little bit of a sort of a half-hearted hunt here for Astralis. Just gonna try and see if they can get one more rifle in, but they cannot. 15-4. Could you come up with any words of encouragement, Moses, right here at the end? I know you, deep down, you're an optimist.
Deep down?
Buried in there somewhere, a little grain of optimism that's left.
I think the wigs took all my optimism away. I've got nothing to be positive in life about anymore. No, I mean, there's not too much, because now you're getting beaten strategically in a way that doesn't even allow your individuals to shine. A couple good nades there on Magisk, and unfortunately, in another world, he might have been taken out. He's down to 17 HP. Again, fighting for banana control, but they need some frags. They need something. They need to give themselves a man advantage. Glaive gonna turn the corner with the bomb, and they want to fight around this smoke.
They get Naf, even in spite of all the damage that was put out in the beginning from Liquid in that defense. Sip and Dupree playing on the other side. Nitro's kind of close to middle. Maybe he could hear them if they're walking up in those hallways. Smoking off. Elige, yeah, he's calling in for backup. Doesn't feel confident playing here alone. 4 versus 5. These rounds from Astralis, they've just been so overpowering. I'm not even sure. I mean, some of these rounds, they didn't even look winnable for Liquid ever.
No, this one's looking like it's about to get sketchy as well. Taco with the kill on a Dupree. That's a big battle to find at a bit of an off angle. Brings it 4-on-4, and now it's Zipnix's turn to pounce, and they've kind of picked up the aggression on this side, but Elige is the one who's under pressure, and he doesn't even really want to fight for it. Wants to call Twist back, but there's no utility. There's no flashbang that Twist has that can allow Elige to take a safe pick, so they might have to just play for the retake.
You don't want to do that with the back against the wall. Elige going to be going down to Device. 4 versus 3, and as the bomb goes down, Taco's in a Nitro's in CT spawn. Twist is in construction. This is going to be just a little bit crazy for Liquid. got almost nothing left. They've got no more grenades or anything. They even look like they're just sort of, you know, edging in towards the bomb side. Doesn't look like they feel it all that much either. Nitro, you're going to be the first to turn the corner. Set up with a flashbang. He gets the kill, taking down Device, and Twist will follow it up. Bomb still ticks so far at the moment, and now Magus to get the kill. It's just Twist left with 1 health, and that bomb is so far ticked. He's trying to do it, but they're going to be out of time. I think he's going to get it, but nothing else left. 16-14, and your new Intel Extreme Masters here at IEM Chicago is going to be Astralis. There was nothing in that last map that made it look like it was ever going to be possible for Liquid to defend. They needed Mirage.
And again, it just seems Astralis, there's no better team at building their way through a tournament. We've seen it a couple times recently. Start out slow, people start to think you're mortal again, and by the time you get into the grand finals, you've got everything figured out.
Yeah, a little bit wobbly early in the tournament, but towards the end, they looked indestructible.
And Liquid still unable to defeat their demons. This might be the last chance they got, but Astralis show who's the master.
Yeah, give it up one more time for your winning team here. It's Astralis.
So many trophies for the Danes. Another one for the collection. This is outstanding. This form, this consistency. They didn't even think it was their very best day. Still lifting trophies and still deciding who's going to take that one home.
Just as people were starting to doubt them, just as they looked human, they've come through with this performance in the grand final, 3-0 over Liquid, making it look easy. It fizzled, but there's a lot to learn from this team. They continue to elevate Counter-Strike to a new level.
They were pushed by Fnatic. They were knocked down to the lower bracket by FaZe Clan, and yet still stride comfortably to victory. And it does look like we're going to get some winning words from one of your champions, if not many. OJ Borg is on the stage with your winners.
Thank you very much, Alex, and with Dupree. It's another tournament, it's more silverware for the cabinet. Is it more satisfying for you when you have won in 3 in a dominating performance like that, or when it's been a 5-map thriller?
I guess it's more dominating this way. Like, we played extremely well on the last 2 maps. We kind of started slow on Mirage, but we just grinded it out the way we showed yesterday as well, even though we made a lot of stupid mistakes. And yeah, I'm just super satisfied and happy that we managed to play this one.
Well, you should be satisfied. I mean, what's interesting is, realistically, you had to say, what was it, 6 match points against Fnatic yesterday, and then today you come here and do this.
Yeah, like we just played better today, and Fnatic, they had a really great game yesterday as well. So they have really shown themselves to show like what they can do. And yeah, I mean, like, we have a really good advantage over Liquid. Like, we just know how they play, and we've played them so many times by now that it's all about mind games. And today we just had the better mind game.
4 times, 4 grand finals in 2018. I wouldn't call you a bogey team because you've been so dominant and everything else, but when you work out a team, is that it? You work them out?
I mean, like, it's all about like knowing how to play against each individual player, how to approach them as a team, playing our own game. Like, sometimes you have to rely on what preparations you've done, like how do they like to play, but how do we also self like to play. So there's a lot of mind games going in, and in general, just you want to approach the game the best way that you feel you can approach it. And today we just approached it with a really good balance of knowing what they did and also what we really know what works.
Well, here's the question then. You are the #1 team in the world, which means you're in the prime position to win the Intel Grand Slam. Now, if you don't know about this, it's $1 million to the team that wins a certain amount of tournaments. You only need one more notch. There's 2 more chances for you to do it in the current setup. You can either do it in Denmark, again, you know, in front of your home fans, or at the major in Katowice in 2019, which I'm told is going to be the best major ever. So, here's the question. If you were going to take the Grand Slam, what's the better story? Denmark or in Poland at the major?
It's a really hard question. I think I would pick the major, actually. I think it would just be like the legacy and like the history would just be amazing. So I would pick that one.
a fantastic answer. It's been a fantastic display once again. Put your hands together. They are your IEM Chicago 2018 champions. It is Astralis!
They did it in London, they did it in Istanbul, now they've done it in Chicago. Astralis, they are just on a spree. Nobody can touch these Danes. They have their fair share of trips and stumbles, but they are once again champions and one away from $1 million. Could happen at the major, could happen earlier than that at the Pro League finals. All I know is that this is the closest we've come to an era being established, and the Intel Grand Slam is there to cement that, and they are now just one away, Tommy.
Yeah, and you're now starting to be in the conversation of potentially being the greatest team ever. I mean, that's the group that we previously reserved to the old Fnatic roster and the NIP team. Potentially SK in 2016, but I would say Astralis is now up there. They need maybe one more big win to really cement that position, I think.
Their nuke win rate as well is one for the record books. The only one close to that is NIP, and of course, it's even more competitive than it was then. If anything, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's a much more competitive era for Counter-Strike, that has to be said. And these guys, the fact that they can keep doing this time and time again, the fact that they keep pushing the boundaries and they have more layers to their game, I don't think they've even, reached their ceiling of what is possible just yet. And that's purely because what they've stated, all being on that same page, all having that same drive, that same dream. And when you have this right now, as Tommy's saying, they can cement themselves as the greatest team to ever touch any version of Counter-Strike.
Absolutely outstanding, truly. One of a kind. This team, they found form with one roster change was all it took to ignite the fire in their belly. And that's a story for another time. I mean, that's a conversation we can continue at a later date. But to review, Team Liquid, they really have got so much on their plate. This is a team that has unbelievable potential and unbelievable results. They've climbed the ranks quickly, Chad, but they just can't seem to beat this demon of Astralis.
Here's the honest truth of it all. Not everybody can be the best team in the world. Only one team can be the best team in the world. And Liquid have made a lot of grand finals this year. The fact that they didn't convert against the Mouse Sports with the Snacks, who they obviously weren't happy with, that is the biggest warning sign for me. Yes. But the question is, are you content with being second fiddle? Are you happy with being number 2? Because it doesn't seem like whatever they do, they are going to, with this roster, beat Astralis. But if they change the roster, are they even going to continue to get into those grand finals? So that's the question. I have the same question with teams in limbo in the top 10. Well, sure, maybe you'll never be the top 3 team in the world, but are you happy with being a top 10 team in the world? Everybody wants to win, and I don't know if this might be the last time we see this Liquid roster.
Whoa.
You have to think about it. If you've done it so many times, what has to change? Does a player change? Is it a coaching change? Where do you go with this, right? And I don't think they should change at all. I would be very happy being in their position.
Yeah, I mean, then, you've really raised some interesting questions. I think this is a team that do have further to go. I don't think that they've reached their ceiling. I think that this is just evidence of the hard work already put in. I think there is other levels to Liquid that we've yet to see. I mean, give me Katowice. Give me Katowice, and then we'll start that conversation in my mind. Tommy, what's your take?
I think it's certainly possible that there's more levels. The problem is at some point the players have to keep believing it. After every single loss, it gets a little bit harder mentally to think like, all right, guys, like this happened this time, but we're going to go home, we're going to practice hard, and next time we'll get him. Yeah. You tell yourself that every single time, but at some point, one of the players is going to think like, guys, like this is not really happening. We're going to have to make a move, something to try to mix things up, and so far it just hasn't been working. With that being said, still number 2.
And no one can give us better insight into what's going on through the minds of Team Liquid players than Team Liquid players. We do have Taco backstage after that 3-0 defeat.
Yes, thank you, Alex. And these are never going to be easy. And especially in this moment, we've got Taco here. And, man, I've got to ask you right away. You guys have faltered here to Astralis, and dare I say again in Chicago. What makes it different this time for you guys?
Well, first thing I have to say is sorry for our fans that came here to watch us playing. We really appreciate your support the entire series, but it was not enough. I hope we could win the series. Astralis is a really difficult team for us, especially to play against. They deserve to be there. They deserve to win this. They deserve to win this trophy. They were the better team today, so I want to give props to Astralis as well. And the only thing I can say now is that we have to go back to work and keep doing our best to improve. I mean, I think we made a lot of improvement this tournament, and in the end, this is what matters.
Yeah, I mean, growing, learning, and ultimately finding that success as a team is exactly where you want to be. And I guess I could ask what positives you're going to take away from this outing here in Chicago. You did make it all the way to the grand finals, but ultimately stopped. So there has to be a silver lining. There has to be a positive.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we are a team that are playing a lot of grand finals lately, and even though it's not bad, it's also not good to lose always in the grand finals. And we know that we just have to take it to the next step, and the next step is winning. And I hope we can get there. I'm gonna give all I can, all my best, whatever. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there.
Well, talk to me about your teammates, because I do know that this is going to be a pretty downward time for you guys, and this has to start itching away at the foundation that is Liquid. In this moment, where are their heads at? What are they thinking? What are they feeling?
We have been working on our mental side a lot this tournament, and I think mentally everyone is okay. Of course, everyone is sad right now because we lost. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to keep our heads up. We're going to go back to work. We have a boot camp next week, and that's what we're going to do. There's no time to be sad. There's no time to cry. There's no time to go back home and stop playing CS, for example. We're going to just go back to the grind, and that's what we can do right now. That's what we're going to do, actually.
Well, keep grinding through it is exactly what Liquid has to do, and I know there's a ton of Brazilian fans and I guess Portuguese speakers all around the world. Anything you want to get off your chest and say to them?
Of course. Galera, muito obrigado a todos os fãs brasileiros que vieram aqui no estádio. Muito obrigado a todos os fãs brasileiros que estão apoiando o Liquid, estão me apoiando também, estão dando muita força na social media. Estou muito feliz por isso, mas estou muito triste que eu não pude trazer esse troféu para casa, né? Esse troféu para o Brasil. Vamos continuar lutando, vamos continuar tentando. Quem sabe na próxima continuem suportando nós. E muito obrigado por todo o apoio.
Obrigado, couldn't have said it. And I guess we did. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get him out of here, get him back to his team, and let him get it all together. And that's the end of the tournament for me. Of course, we're going to kick it back to the desk and continue to break it down and get us out of here. The Wintrust, you've been fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of respect to Taco for taking the time there to give us some additional insight and straight back on the grind. That answers some of the questions you already had straight out of the gate.
You know what I'd do? Probably prac your permaban so you can now ban Nuke against Astralis.
Right, I mean, that does sound like a logical choice at this point. You're not going to beat them on that map. Nobody has.
Nobody wants to start a series
times.
down a map.
Right. Especially if we start talking best of threes, and that is still something you have to watch out for. Get Train. Spend that boot camp on Train. I mean, that's a great choice, and that's a great conversation in itself. As you can see, Astralis starting the celebrations. I'm sure they'll go deep into the night in Chicago. Make sure you dress up warm. It was brisk yesterday for sure. But let's wrap up this tournament. This has been another Intel Extreme Masters stop, and the first time we find ourselves here in Chicago. I feel like we've learned a lot about some teams. If you rewind all the way, I think there are a couple of standout names that I'm really looking forward to seeing step onto the stage again. Fnatic at the tip of my tongue, Tommy.
Yeah, I think Fnatic were the biggest surprise of this tournament. They looked really impressive. I thought they would have done really well in the final. Probably would have won the final if they just got over the finish line in the end of Inferno there. Even close to winning Dust 2 in that series. Not many people expected them to come this far. I don't think anybody thought they would match up that well against Astralis, and they're just definitely a team to look out for in the next coming tournaments.
We have LDLC. It's, you know, we might not see them for a while on LAN, but I think the fact of the matter is if they can prove not to be just a splash in the pan, if they can actually be a team to have repeat performances or at least push other squads, that's a positive sign. You know, you've got Vitality out there who can't even qualify for the closed, qualify for the minor.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Damn, I was getting hyped about them.
I think teams who are maybe who underperformed in this tournament would be the likes who are looking for redemption as we go forward would be NRG
North
and Na'Vi. North, yeah, North is still. I'm going to give them in their infancy still.
All right,
but definitely NRG and Na'Vi, two teams who underperformed here.
Yeah. For sure, and that is what we've learned here from IEM Chicago. Astralis, it's another feather for their cap, another trophy for their cabinet. And with that, we are going to leave you with the plays that made this Counter-Strike Tournament one to remember. Some highlights as we wave goodbye, and we'll see you next time as Intel Extreme Masters continue to tour the globe and take esports where it's never been before.